Hallo, ons is hier by Nampo Kaap. Translated, that means we're here by Nampo in Cape Town. And I'm driving something that we've kind of already tested before. But this is the passenger version of Ford's transit van, the Tourneo. It's brand new, and it has a whole bunch of features that I'm excited to tell you about. The last time we reviewed this vehicle was the transit vehicle. You can check that video out on the Ignition Live YouTube channel. And there were a lot of things on the car that I liked and some things that I didn't. And now we take a step forward and revisit this vehicle, but the passenger version. And the first thing that comes to mind and reminds me of that previous review is this square steering wheel, which I didn't like at first, but after spending much more time with it, I find that it makes a bit more sense, especially since the steering ratio on this car is quite fast. You've got the 13-inch screen in the middle here, which is so easy to sync with thanks to Ford's sync system. In the transit review, I did say that it didn't make that much sense to me because why would you need it if you're running deliveries? My colleague then pointed out that when doing deliveries, it's kind of important to have your hands on the wheel, and that makes sense. But for a leisure vehicle like this, I do love that infotainment system. Of course, it's got cup holders absolutely everywhere, and just like its transit cousin, it's got plenty storage. It's also got wireless charging at the bottom, and speaking of chargers, there are a bunch of USB chargers ranging from this big USB port over here to USB-C ports all over the back. One of the big new features on this Ford van is the flat floor, and here's why it's important. It allows you to do things like this and quickly jump to the back of the vehicle or jump from side to side. Clearly not something you want to be doing when you're on the move, but quite convenient for certain moments. Whereas on the panel van, this extra door is an option. It comes standard on this version, and I've gone USB hunting, and I found two over there, and two back here as well. I've also found air vents on top and the climate control. Then of course you've got speakers dotted on the roof as well. So far so good at the back here. It's not just an empty space like the panel van. On the old Tourneo, you had configurable seats as well, but those weighed as much as about 2 or 3 cinder blocks. This one, though, is much lighter and easier to configure. You can slide these all the way forward and get a whole bunch of loading space at the back here, kind of like that panel van. But I think it's time to go find out what the new Ford Tourneo drives like on the road. Now this is exactly where the Tourneo excels. We are on our way back from Nampo, now heading back to Cape Town. It's about a 200-kilometer drive home. I'm averaging 9.4 liters per 100. The kids are in the back screaming. I'm getting overtaken by faster traffic. And I am very comfortable as I do so. It's got an 8-speed gearbox that kind of just does what it does in the background. And to me, that is absolutely spot on for a car like this. You can swap it into manual mode, but I don't see why you would, especially since it's got this weird sort of indicate the stalk to change gears. Leave it in auto, enjoy that smooth 8-speed shift. The road that we're on now is quite rough, so there is a little bit of road noise coming through, and you're also sitting quite low, so you can feel the wheels below your feet, so to speak. What isn't intrusive though is the wind, and this car's had some aerodynamic work done, and you really can feel it. Even with strong crosswinds in the Western Cape today, it doesn't feel like other vans that I've driven that kind of get pushed side to side with the wind. You don't get the sense with this car. Put your foot down, and there's a decent amount of torque uphill, but I do think that even with 360 newtons and a full load at the back on an uphill in Johannesburg, you might feel it a little bit. There aren't many options on this car. One is the integrated roof rack and the service plan. This model is spec'd with cruise control and lane keep assist, but it isn't adaptive, unfortunately. But there is some talk of an upgraded model further up the totem pole coming later in the year. The car also comes with a 5G modem, which means you've got a mobile hotspot for you and the kids. Also very convenient when you want to keep them hushed in the back on their tablets. Although, I think we should be limiting screen time, people. You get a 4-year, 120,000 kilometer warranty and a 5-year corrosion warranty. But on any modern car, you shouldn't be seeing any corrosion within the first 5 years. Visibility out of this car is just fantastic. You do, however, on this one get a rear-facing camera. Having said that, the resolution isn't exactly HD, but it is quite functional. There are lots and lots of safety features on this car, just like the Transit panel van, which has 6 airbags, very good for a panel van. This one does too. It also has one of my favorite features, which is collision mitigation, where if you're about to have an incident, it gives you this very, very, frightening warning sound, letting you know that you're about to crash into someone. Something that I think will help keep all of us safe on the road going forward. You know, when you just want to get home, I'm kind of in that mode right now, and when that moment comes, you need something that can comfortably cruise at a relatively high speed, and that's exactly where I think this bus starts to shine. Comfortable, competent, and safe. As a high-speed cruiser to make your way home or to your destination, the Ford Tourneo really does tick a lot of boxes. Definitely worth a test drive if you're in the market for a van, and if you're not in the market for a van, I think maybe it's time us South Africans start looking into that market. It combines a lot of the best of SUV and the best of sedan, and excuse my rhyming, all in the shape of just one van.